Hey guys, Onward here, Talking in Traffic, episode 48. And how do you deal with the unknown and dealing with uncertainty? Some of that uncertainty, for me at least, stems from, are we approaching a recession? Right now it's 2019 October, and the housing market is slowing down. It's not as competitive. We're seeing bidding wars decrease dramatically from 40% last year to 10%, 8%, 10% this year, according to Redfin. And that's in the Bay Area. So we're seeing a lot of slowdown in the market here and also other places in the country. Homes are staying on the market much longer. And there's news that Chinese investors, foreign investors, are liquidating their U.S. holdings, their U.S. real estate holdings. And so they are flooding the market with supply at certain prices. And at some point, these prices will need to ease to be competitive, and so that they can remove that inventory off the market. So the uncertainty comes from the question, are we in a recession? Is it the proper time to buy? And the response that I've been hearing and that I'm trying to manifest myself is, well, if it's a good deal, of course it's a good time to buy. So going back to process and systems, if I'm looking to buy a 10 unit plus property in other parts of the country, out of state, so that'd be Las Vegas or Phoenix or Tucson, Kansas City, Wichita, some of these places where apartments are affordable, rents are not as high as the Bay Area, but they are still supported and they have a good economy. Does it make sense? And can I absorb any vacancy? Can I absorb softening in the market, especially if I'm holding it for a long time? Instead of a commercial hold of 5 and 10 years, I would just refinance when I'm approaching that 5, 7, 10 year mark, and refinance into another loan as I'm paying down and as the residents are helping me pay down. So dealing with uncertainty, start asking questions on how you can make it happen. How can I make this happen? Instead of making statements like you can't do it or it's not a great time to buy, instead ask the question of how can I make it happen, right? How can I make it make sense? And then that starts asking you, making yourself ask questions based on logic, based on data, so you can go out and do that work. If you're faced with uncertainty around starting at a new school or a new job or a spouse, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, right? You've been hurt before, or this is a big step for you, a big decision for you, then take that time to examine, take inventory and take stock of your life now, and look at where you want to go, and does that next step align with your goals? And then ask yourself, okay, how can I make this happen? If it's going to a new school, right? Going to, or making a decision with your undergrad or with your grad school, right? That's a big step. Ideally they would be aligned, and the school would be aligned with what you want to study. And at the same time, it's something that you're excited about, right? You're excited to go study at this particular school, and a given subject matter. Awesome. Two schools are very much aligned, and it's a hard decision to make. So how do you deal with that uncertainty? Your pro cons list will help you, and then any other data like financial data, and also take into account qualitative data, right? Not quantitative data like how far it is or how much it costs, how much books cost, how much housing costs in the area, but things that would make you happy about going there, right? How you would feel about going there, and how the perception of going to that school will help you get a job later. These things are things to take inventory of. Or things, question like, is this a good time to start my business, right? Or should I start a business? This is a question that some folks ask themselves often, and you can approach it as anything else. How can I make it happen? And you would create that process. You would create that step by step, and you would read books, obviously, to learn more. If you're not well versed and you haven't done it before, you would network, talk to folks that have done it, and then you would start creating your LLC and taking that first step forward and making calls to get customers, spend money on advertising to get the word out there of your product. And as you go ahead and as you move forward, you learn along the way. So dealing with uncertainty, dealing with problems that arise, try to keep a level head about it, and if you can, then don't. If it does get frustrating and it's stressful and it's uncertain, give yourself permission at that time to freak out, right? You're gonna freak out if you are the type. I know I am, when things get crazy, and you then take that time, whatever that time you need, hopefully not too long, and then you realize that you've taken that time, awesome, and that you can collect yourself and then move forward, and then start asking yourself the question, how can I make it happen? Forgive yourself for freaking out if you feel guilty about it, and take one step forward, and then a second step and a third step. Also, try to rely on friends. Your group of friends is your support, your family as well. If they're not well versed, or they're not encouraging you, or they don't have constructive criticism for you, then go out and find other folks, meetups, where you can find that tribe of like-minded individuals that will help you network and encourage you to be better, and help you think through these times of uncertainty, and perhaps they have tips on how they dealt with it. So today, if you're uncertain about something, go ahead and go do it. Take some action, and write a plan, or just move forward one step at a time and get her done. Take care, guys.